In this video, we're going to talk about how to be a person of action in your life. Cue the intro. All right, so how do you take action? How do you be that person? I know we've all seen that person that is always taking action and doing everything that they're actually saying they're going to do in their life. And, we just sit back in awe of that person because we know we want to achieve some of those same things in our lives. And maybe we are that person. If you are that person, please do share, down in the comments below some of the things that help you continue being that person in your life. But for those who are not, we want to talk about how we can get to that point where we are achieving that type of dedication and determination for the things in our lives and really taking action. How do we get to that point? I think one of the first things you have to do is you have to be honest with yourself about your strengths and your weaknesses. You have to get to the point where you know what you're capable of, and I think most of us deep down, we kind of do know what we're capable of. And, we're constantly at the point where we're kind of battling with that, in terms of being honest with ourselves at whatever moment, what can we do? And how much time and effort are you going to be able to spend doing those things? That is the first thing you really want to iron out, as something that is going to help you get to the point where you're going to be able to take action in your life consistently. And once you do determine that in your life, once you do figure out what that is, you want to start small. See, this is something that, you got to really listen to this. People always want to start big at whatever they're doing. Everybody wants to be, at point Z and don't want to start from A and go through all the steps it takes. You have to go through the steps, start small, because those small wins will add up to big victories and allow you to move through the spirit of what you're doing and be confident about what you're doing because you are following the steps and understanding what the knowledge is. You have to understand what the knowledge is of what you're doing. And the only way to do that is sometimes to start small and give yourself those small wins. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew, because that sometimes will lead you to not being able to take action and not being able to complete things in your life. So if you really want to get to that point of taking action, start small, start giving yourself those small wins, because they will add up. Over time, they will add up, and you'll recognize this in, people who achieve great things over time. They have a lot of little small wins along the way. They might, start off doing something that's really small and people don't even recognize it as a win, but they complete it. You know what I mean? And the more things you complete that way in your life, it just starts to rack up. You build upon those successes in your life. So definitely do that. Start small and start to pile on those successes. And soon you will get to a point where you are taking action consistently. And with that, you want to be results oriented. That goes hand in hand with, starting small and achieving those things. You want to be results oriented. And what I mean by that is you want to have a clear picture of what does the end result need to be in whatever you're doing. Don't just start things and just kind of meander around and not finish them. Don't do that. Always know what the end result is going to be. Even if it's something really, really small and really minuscule in your mind, you want to be results oriented with those steps and get those things done. And I know this can be a major shift in the way we think sometimes, in the way we interact with the things that we do. But it is the shift that is going to enable you to change so many things in your life in terms of taking action. When you start to understand in your life that everything you do, if you are results oriented in your life and you start to take action that way, you will rack up so many wins and so many accomplishments that it will always lead you to a bigger accomplishment. And that's a very important thing to understand. Those small wins, and I know I always say this, but those small wins will add up to big victories over time. So don't overlook the power of starting small and being results oriented in the things you want to do in your life, and you will start to take action. And never forget, stay positive. Stay positive when you are doing whatever you're doing in your life. It's such a powerful thing. Positivity is very powerful. And I know it's easier said than done. People always say, stay positive, be a positive person. And sometimes you're just not a positive person, or the situation may not be a positive situation. But as much as you can, if you can put forth positive energy in whatever you're doing, it's going to enable you to complete more things. It's going to enable you to take action at things, because your perspective of what is happening won't be skewed by the negativity that is surrounding it. And that happens. Sometimes, people have everything they need to complete something. They have everything they need to do something great. But because they are feeling negatively or approaching something with negativity, the greatness is not enabled. The greatness is not turned on. They're not able to start up that greatness that they have and make that thing happen, make that great thing happen. So you want to be as positive as you can about the things that you want to accomplish, and that not only will allow you to take action, but it will allow you to take action quickly. And the next thing you want to do is you want to take responsibility for your actions. I know this is a really big thing because, oftentimes, specifically when we are, already in a bad situation, we're feeling down about what we're doing. We sometimes don't want to take responsibility for the bad things that may be happening as a result of, our efforts. But one of the main things you can do to be a person of action in your life is really to take responsibility for your actions, because it will put you in a situation where you are always seen as the person that can complete things and not do them from a selfish perspective. And yes, it's not always easy to do that because, taking responsibility is hard sometimes. It's hard to be the person, it's hard to be the bad guy in whatever situation and feel like, everything is falling on your shoulders. But you do want to take responsibility for your actions because it will make you a person of action in your life. It will allow you to be that person of action and be seen as that person of action, specifically if you are in roles of leadership where you want to be able to, depend on others and have others depend on you, so that you are seen in that light and you can move in that light and be able to get the things that you need to get done seamlessly, without confrontation and without falter. And lastly, in that, you have to be comfortable with criticism. If you want to be someone that is action oriented and takes action in your life, you have to be comfortable with criticism, the criticism of others, the criticism you're going to have for yourself. You have to be able to take those things in stride, because the more you do, the more you expose yourself to criticism, and you don't want to get to the point where it is stagnating for you and you are constantly trying to battle the things that are coming against you when you are taking action, because that will be really stifling. So you have to get to a point where you understand, hey, I'm not going to always be perfect. The situations that I'm taking action on are not always going to be perfect. The things that I'm doing in my life are not always going to be perfect. So I have to be able to take that criticism and understand that the people around me, even though they might be seeing one facet of what I'm doing in this instance, I am capable of greatness. I am capable of, completing things. I am capable of doing all the things that I set out to do and accomplishing those things in greatness. I hope this has been extremely helpful for someone. And until we talk again, I wish you health, wealth, and freedom.